Rolling Thunder?
What?
Roll high.
Keep them doggies rolling hard.
And we've had a few ups and downs for this episode because, couldn't get that one movie. We tried.
It was one of those movies, like when you were watching it, because that happened to me, I watched it, and I'm like, why am I watching this film? And the film was called They Found Hell.
And it was hell to try to find it without having to pay extra.
And I found it on, I think, Netflix or something. I don't remember where I found it.
Yeah,
I found it somewhere.
It wasn't on there when I looked everywhere. Nope. So,
and I even checked the Roku. And it will tell me all on me.
So now we have our alternate movie, which was the documentary. I didn't think we'd be doing documentaries on the show.
At least not one like that.
No.
Although I did watch Butterfly in the Sky.
Yeah, actually, I did too.
Netflix has Butterfly in the Sky, the documentary about Reading Rainbow. It made me realize one more reason why LeVar Burton is an amazing human being.
Yeah.
Because he was doing that and Star Trek at the same time, traveling all over.
Did you see the...
Holy going what no man has ever...
Did you see the like a spoof commercial he did with Ryan Reynolds for Aviator Gin?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ryan's like, we don't deserve him. He's too good.
Yeah, I think the rest of us have all said that about Ryan Reynolds.
No, he was talking about LeVar Burton.
Yes, but I'm saying we don't deserve.
Oh, we don't.
Ryan
we
Reynolds.
don't deserve Ryan Reynolds. But if Ryan Reynolds wants to pop by one day, we'd be more than happy to
absolutely
have him.
We'd be happy to have some aviation gin with him.
Yes,
even some Laughing Man coffee. I don't mind.
You know, maybe use some Mint Mobile.
Hey.
Yeah.
go wax them. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome, everyone, to the Dragoon's Lair podcast. I am the Blue Dragoon himself, Danielle the Dragon. And with me once again, as a three-man crew, we have Mike, King Hamster Pellet himself, Chiavo.
What is up, people?
And we have, of course, the incomparable family man himself, James Haynes.
Hello, everybody.
All right. So, So I think we just... in our pre-show banter, pretty much let everyone know that the movie we talked about last time was not happening for this discussion.
Oh, well.
You know, we will come back to it when it's no longer a rental.
Or pay-per-view.
Yeah. If it comes back to Netflix and we can watch it, yeah. Now, I don't know if you guys heard, but they did go and they postponed the Tyson fight.
Yeah, because he's in the hospital.
Because
he had like an ulcer.
Something like that.
But it's been rescheduled for November.
Okay, that's fine. It just gives him more time to bulk up.
Well, it gives Paul more chance to bulk up because if you looked at any of the footage of him, he just looks like he dirty bulked so badly that his stomach was distended. It was like, you had bubble gut. There was no way. He was going to get punched in the stomach during that fight.
It would have been like King Hippo.
Oh, yeah. It really would have been Mike Tyson's Punch Out. The only difference is Tyson would have been Little Mac. Nah, he really went. It was like you looked at Paul. You see how fat he looked. He really looked like he would have thrown up if Tyson just punched him once in the gut.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sounds like the kid in Stand By Me.
Pretty much. Yeah, so this episode we're going to be talking about the Jim Henson documentary they did, Idea Man.
Yeah.
Which I have to say, like, we're going to start off with that and we'll go into the wrestling stuff after. But
that's fine.
We really got to talk about that because I don't know about you guys, but I didn't realize how much stuff he was doing, like, before he ever got started with the Muppets.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing like the Nostalgia Critic on YouTube talking about like he's doing his commercial episode and he had the Wilkins coffee. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, it sounds like Kermit, but can't possibly be. I don't think it is. But it was like, no, that was it. And you saw like the Wilkins coffee puppets and stuff. He was doing a lot of experimental stuff, which I didn't realize Sesame Street was where he was putting most of that experimental stuff.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the Muppets that were on Sesame Street, you're like, okay, this is the only place where
Big Bird.
Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not do that.
No, I did it like this.
Yeah, but it looked like you were.
Yeah, no. We don't support that here.
We don't support that here.
No, we don't.
I mean, if you look at like Grover.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck is Grover?
But it's not even just that. It was the experimental footage of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yep.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Stuff that's embedded in our memories now, just growing up watching it. I mean, the man was a genius.
The man has he's got ego out of the EGOT, basically.
Oh yeah, he really went and he did so much for so many other people, and bringing like a community of creators together to create his creature shop, and it's still running to this day.
Still, thanks to that documentary, had a refresh like, oh yeah, that's right. The same time he sold the rights to the Muppets, Freddie Mercury and Queen also sold their rights to Disney and Touchstone and all that for their CDs also, for their music also.
Yeah,
At the same time, just before he passed.
yeah, there was a lot of like stuff that Disney was acquiring even back then. So the fact that this show is pretty much a Disney-centric episode of stuff that we've got planned, it's, but watching that and seeing like Fraggle Rock was his entire thing of to stop war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was such, like, when you really think about it, it's like, what an endeavor of like, oh my God, who would think I'm going to make a show that's going to help end war? It didn't, but you know what?
It's a good try.
It
was a good try.
At least he did try.
Yeah.
It was like back in the 90s where we went through the cartoon and like television renaissance of everyone having like a political activism for against pollution or the anti-drug campaigns that didn't work anyway.
Just say no. It didn't work.
Say no. Go and tell someone you trust.
Yeah.
Not a chicken, you're a turkey.
You can find that old like Dare Nancy Reagan cartoon with all the old characters on YouTube.
Yeah.
Of course you can.
I watched that again and I was like, I remember watching that back in school. It's like those were things that this thing brought back, like Idea Man brought back so much nostalgia because it's like, oh, realizing Sesame Street would have been boring just having humans on the street.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, we got to actually integrate like some of these puppets. And knowing that like he was going back and forth with who was going to be portraying Bert and Ernie.
Hey, Bert.
Yes, Ernie.
How do you see? With your eyes, Bert.
And who would think it was his mother's jacket and a ping pong ball, which was Kermit.
Yeah. Like that was the start of Kermit, his mother's jacket being used with a ping pong ball cut in half.
Well,
And-
that was the same way Barney was created. Just a woman threw a purple towel over her head.
Yeah, no. Did you see that Barney documentary that was out a while back?
Thank
Oh,
God, no.
no. It is literally one of the funniest things you will ever see.
Okay.
A friend of mine went and told me to watch it. I found it. I was watching it. And it really is. I think it's I Love You, You Hate Me.
Yeah. They did that on a Mad TV.
Yeah, no, but this was like when you see that the guy who was inside the Barney costume, when you compare like Jim Henson's, like all the people that were inside, they pretty much have upheld like this high standard.
Yeah.
Except for Elmo, who got himself in trouble. Yeah, but but I think most people have forgotten about that one. But the guy who is inside the Barney costume at one point is a tantric sex guru.
Oh, God.
Oh no, when you see him standing there, and it's one of the funniest things where it's like, I love you, Barney, come into me, Barney. Like, he is taking it to a level that you cannot replicate.
Or unsee.
Oh yeah, but it's one of those things where if you watch it, you have to laugh. The laughter just flows with it, and how much the creator's son hated Barney and had a screwed up life after because Barney was considered like his brother.
Ugh.
It's like it was creepy.
They did a spoof on Barney on a Mad TV, and they had like a really fat kid come over.
Oh, yeah.
Sit on his lap, and he's like, I love you, you love me, you're gonna break my goddamn knee.
Well, that was like back in the day, though, with, what was it, In Living Color? Homie the Clown?
Yes.
Homie, don't play that.
It's like,
I don't think so.
yeah. But yeah, no. Like, what do you think was something that stood out to you about like Idea Man?
Just how he got the ideas for like everybody that like you said Kermit, and just how he like these are characters that you grew up with: Kermit, Big Bird, Bart and Ernie, Mr. Snuffleupagus. You know, the Muppets, Miss Piggy, everybody. Just how he comes up with those ideas.
Oh yeah,
and you're like, it's simple. It's genius because it's so simple.
And it's also the vaudevillian style that they used for the Muppet Show.
Yeah.
And
which was, again, genius. If you look at the list of people who were on the original Muppet Show, not the one they tried to redo in the 90s without Kermit. But who'd you have? Mark Hamill on there. You had Prince.
Yeah, they said they were turning celebrities away.
You had Alice Cooper, which was funny because everybody thought at the time Alice Cooper, oh no, his music is like for the devil and this and that.
They had Blondie on.
Yeah. They had
James Coco.
He kept getting...
I still watch it here.
Yeah, but 5 years of a successful show that he chose to end.
Right.
Yeah.
All because he was going to repeat himself.
And remember, he did everything in London, in England.
Yep.
Nothing was done here. That was actually the amazing part of it. He kept trying I want to do this show here. They kept telling him, no. Hey, I want to do the show over here in London. Okay. Everybody, we're going to London.
We're going to London.
This just goes to show like this is an inspirational story for people.
Yeah.
Because it shows like if you're persistent and you believe in yourself enough, you can
do it.
Yeah, do it and see.
Did the creatures that were in Star Wars, did they come from the creature shop, or they were all?
No,
the only one. No. Frank Oz is the only one that came from the Muppets.
I'm talking about like the creatures.
No, Lucas did all the creatures himself. Yeah, he used his own creation studios and stuff to make his stuff.
Well, you remember the movie Labyrinth,
which is in there.
It's only if you look at it, it's David Bowie.
Yep.
It's the baby.
Jennifer Connelly.
And Jennifer Connelly. Those are the only three real humans. And
until the mother pops up at the very end.
And she's like, what'd you do with my baby? Fuck you, bitch.
I just went through this freaking labyrinth.
Everybody does that. Fuck you, bitch. I told you they don't want to babysit.
The fact that they want to do a sequel.
No.
I'm like,
No. David Bowie made the character.
Yeah. You're never going to be able to repeat that.
When he sat there dancing with those Muppets.
And today is his anniversary, too.
Yeah. Dance Magic.
Dance.
That was an amazing song that still gets stuck in people's heads to this very day.
That whole movie, you couldn't do it today.
They say it was a flop, but you want to know something? It's a cult classic.
It's a cult classic. A lot of movies that people say are flops turned out to be really, really good because they didn't do why? Because a critic didn't like it. Fuck the critic.
And that's the thing. When you look at something and you go and that's one of the reasons why like I love doing what we're doing here, which is we're giving a spotlight to a lot of things that people don't normally get a chance to watch or may have flown under the radar, but we talk about popular stuff too. Yeah. The thing is, most critics are so hard on everything because they feel like they have to and I'm going to say it, they have to shit on everything.
They have to pander to the big companies.
And the problem is, though, like, when you take a look, and a prime example is John Carpenter. Most of John Carpenter's movies were box office failures. Yeah. But when he was so ahead of his time that doing these things in the theaters, they come to home video, and that was where they got their major success.
Yeah, right.
And nowadays, if you notice, most of this stuff doesn't even need to go to the theaters anymore. No. It needs to just go to streaming, and we're good to go.
Which I think is I don't like because I like going to the movies. I like having a movie come out during the summer, and I like to wait for it to come out on DVD or Blu-ray to see what kind of extras are on it. I don't like the straight to streaming stuff.
See, I'm
like certain things. Okay, fine, straight to streaming.
Yeah,
but for like a big film, I want to go to the theater. I want to see it on the 30-foot screen.
You may want to do that, but then there's the problem that comes into everything. The other fucking people in the theater.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
because no one knows how to behave themselves in a theater anymore. You know what? Yeah. The Deadpool and Wolverine telling people to silence their cell phones.
Which is funny as hell.
It's funny as hell, but can you actually get people to do that? No. We have too many people that they got to prove that they're in the theater, so you got to take pictures. you know what?
We know somebody like that.
Oh yeah.
Schmucks.
Shall we be mean?
Listen, there's too many people that do that. But like that was one of the things I knew I was going to have a problem with when I saw Stephen King's It Part 1.
Yeah.
That one I knew I was going to have a problem when the people next to me, they sat down. There's plenty of open seats in the theater. They chose to sit next to me. When I see the chair go up, feet are up, and the next thing I see, the camera taking a picture, I'm like, this is going to be a problem. And it was.
Yeah.
The entire time, they did not shut the hell up. And nowadays, though, kids don't know how. Look,
They don't know how to act.
I'm okay if you're going to be funny in the movie
Yeah.
theater, but not everything you say is going to be a fucking gem. So you might want to just like rein it in. Keep your mouth shut. If you've seen it once and you want to come back and talk through it, then that's okay. You know what? You've at least seen it, but do it where you're not near other people.
Sit in the back of the theater, you
Or
bitch.
do it if you're with a group of people. Do
Yeah.
it so just the people that you hear,
Yeah.
that are around you can hear you. Like I'm guilty of doing it. I went to go see Resident Evil 2, and I saw Sahara, and I saw it with Danny. And you know, as
Other
we're wa-
Danny,
other
not
Danny,
me.
not him, another Danny. As we're watching it, we're like, okay, you know, this needs. We're watching it, and it was like, why are we here? So in Resident Evil, you know, when they ate the Chinese reporter, somebody goes, "Oh my God, they ate Connie Tong," and I'm like, "Yeah, but a half hour later, still gonna be hungry."
See, I'm not somebody who can do that.
I am.
I cannot talk during a movie.
It needed it.
I need
It needed it.
I need to be engrossed into what I'm watching, especially if I'm.
But let's put it this way: you're not going to get engrossed in Resident Evil 2.
I did.
You're not.
I did.
And
Yeah.
I sat through that movie in complete silence, taking in every element of that movie.
I enjoyed it, but
have-
I can laugh at it at the same time.
Listen, I can laugh at it when I'm at home, but when I'm in the theater, unless it's a joke where they're actually trying to be funny in the movie, I got to be engrossed into it. I need to like focus in, because the thing, and I've been that way since I was a kid. It was always like I took everything in. I would leave the theater with my dad when I was a kid, and I could still spit back dialogue verbatim throughout the movie because I was paying that much attention, and I'd only seen it once.
Well, that's the only way me and Danny talk to each other. We talk in movie samplers. I mean, we pay attention to the film, but at the same time, we're like, okay, like Sahara. You know, oh, the World Health Organization. We goes, who's here? Yes, we are. I mean, that's a movie that got shit on.
Yeah, listen, most of the movies get shit on, but like the fact that this, like Jim Henson Idea Man, is going to go under the radar for a lot of people because of the fact that it's straight to Disney Plus. It's not, and it's a documentary.
See, I think going straight to Disney Plus is going to hurt it when it comes to award time. Because I could see that being, you know, up for best documentary.
Oh yeah,
That'll
But
get
since
it
it's
for an Emmy. Yeah.
But since it's straight to Disney Plus, well, people go, "Oh, Disney Plus, we ain't gonna give it a
Well,
shot,"
no,
or like we don't want to. No, it's Disney Plus. Ooh.
Well, the thing is, they've done, and Jimmy, you can attest to this one. There's a lot of behind the scenes and documentary stuff on Disney
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
So they're trying to kind of be taken seriously, but at the same time, and then they do stupid shit.
Got to remember,
Which
The
is gonna hurt
Mandalorian
themselves.
got nominated for an Emmy,
Yeah.
being on Disney Plus. Stranger Things on
Netflix.
They've gotten Miss Maisel on Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's like the award ceremonies don't mean jack shit at this point.
That's true.
I've never taken stock into them because every time when there's something that I feel is worth it, they go for something else because it's artistic. It's like, you do realize, and Jimmy and I had class. You weren't there with us at CSI when we had a class with the kid Jordy.
Schlock kid.
Yeah. Kid basically went and was saying how like everything was horrible. It was, what was it? When they, oh shit, I hate when I blank on this. No, he was like they asked us in a class, what was the ideal society? And he literally sat there and said, a world without Italians. This is a Serbian kid, came to the U.S., and our professors are sitting there telling us Hollywood better watch out for this kid because he's gonna make a big name for himself.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, not when you're sitting there and all you're talking about is Jean-Luc Godard, and you think that is the pinnacle of filmmaking. You're never gonna make a dime.
Newsflash, there's more than Godard.
There's financially stable movies. That's the reason why studios are able to exist.
Yeah.
You make movies that make money. When you make movies that don't make any money because it's an art house film, that's an art project.
Yeah.
And you can say, like, Jim Henson did that when it came to the little shorts and stuff that he did for his experimental stuff on Sesame Street.
Yeah.
And kids got to experience that. And that's a little bit of culture there. But at the same time, if you're not making things that aren't going to be financially successful,
You're not going to make it.
no one's going to give you money to make another movie.
Yeah. It's pretty much you got to hit a home run on your first swing if you want to make a name for yourself.
Yeah. And
And then pray to God you get a second pitch.
at least nowadays, it's a little easier with the internet for people to be able to get more exposure and be experimental. But at the same time, it's got to get views.
Yeah.
It has to be in a vein that is financially feasible, that a studio or even
People
a
with money.
platform are going to want to watch
Yep.
and watch it enough that they're going to get you the views that you'll make revenue.
Yep.
So now let's go, and we're going to change things up out of order a little bit. Jimmy, let's go for WWE. What's your best of for the past couple weeks?
Past couple of weeks, let's see, between Gunther and Nia Jax winning the King and Queen of the Ring, which was actually typical. Everybody saw it coming. But
Well, it was Saudi who watched it.
I know. It was a premium live event.
At 1 p.m. because it took place in Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
But to me, it just didn't catch my eye, to be honest with you. And they're going to have the rematch at Clash in the Castle with him and Orton. Wow, whoopee. Good for you guys. Will that still bring money? Well, it will when everybody gets to see Priest versus McIntyre and see what CM Punk will probably do during the match. Now you got Liv Morgan going around now as the champion, which I wish her all the luck. But who's going to be her number one contender? Hey, you got to see it to believe it. And then you have Piper Niven. Well, she's going to be at home in Scotland. She's going up against Bayley. I mean, Bayley, let's put it this way. That's a good tune-up for you for Nia Jax for SummerSlam.
Do you think they're going to make her job to Piper? I mean, I see it only because she gets the home crowd pop.
It's going to be a hometown pop, but I would not. The only way something will happen when she gets disqualified, or at least because Chelsea Green is going to be around, and Chelsea Green is Chelsea Green. But one thing
I love Chelsea Green, though. She is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, please! I still remember what Adam Graves was all ready to abuse it, to shit on her, and then
Corey
she had to
Graves.
leave. Corey Graves.
Yeah,
And then
Adam
she had to
Graves
leave.
played right wing for the
That's
Rangers.
right. And what happens? She gets eliminated before he couldn't even get a word out. But in all honesty, it's what's coming in and out and everything. And WWE needs a little more oomph lately.
Look, I don't get, like, they just signed Ethan Page. And they're
Yeah,
like,
oh,
oh,
NXT,
AEW is losing people to WWE. I'm like, yeah, but when you go from AEW, which is, you have...
It's an independent, it's a live independent wrestling show.
But
Yeah.
with major coverage, because you're on,
Yes.
TNT on Wednesdays. And you're on...
TBS on Wednesdays and TNT for the weekend.
For the weekend. You're going from there, and then you're getting dumped on NXT, which is kind of like, okay, I'm going kind of like a step down, like to the minor league. Because everybody wants to be on Raw, everybody wants to be on SmackDown. Oh, we signed this guy. Where is he? NXT. Meh.
Well, they signed him.
Here we
because-
go. We got to get shirts for Mike. Just meh.
Meh.
So if somebody out there could help us with some t-shirt designs, please reach out to us and let us know at dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. That's dragoonslairpodcast, all one word. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com.
20 minutes in, perfect.
We should keep a running count.
How many times I do that?
Yeah, because I'll explain to you when we get to the AW part.
All right. But yeah, no. But the thing is, it's, listen, no one's going to end up on the main roster immediately, even if you're coming from another show. But if you
Unless you're a really major, like Cody.
Yeah,
for
but
someone like that.
But Cody was already
There.
in WWE
Right.
before.
Yeah.
But like right now, it's one of the reasons why like I figured my prediction for WrestleMania when we did our predictions, and I said that Becky Lynch wasn't going to win. And that was because I'm like, she's got her book tour, so she's going to be she's now a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
She can do whatever she wants. You know how many pictures you see online of Becky Lynch to AEW? It's like they
Not
do
gonna
that with
happen.
everybody.
Yeah.
It's
They
like
do the
if-
same thing, so and so to WWE. No.
If you lose, your contract's expiring, they start sending. It's
Yeah.
like they already predict you're going someplace else. She could come back in a few months after her book tour is done, where she's at her run. She spent some time at home, got to spend time with her kid,
She got
helped
to
her
nurse a lot
husband
of
recoup.
injuries.
You got to get your husband recouped.
Yeah. The two of them are not in one piece. Both of them are at least broken down.
Yep.
I think every wrestler at some point is broken down. Their careers start off broken. It's the same way when you go and you take a look at football players. You've been playing football in high school or even before that, you get to college, you're already taking massive amounts of abuse. By the time, if you even make it to the big leagues, you have taken so many hits that it's like, yeah, they needed to worry about concussion protocols because of the fact that the concussions, you got a helmet on the outside of your head. That's not protecting your brain. That's protecting your skull. You can still get knocked out because your brain is just slamming into
And
the
it's
your
back.
skull.
fully padded. I
Yeah.
agree. Believe me,
All the padding in the world ain't going to stop you when you have a
No.
300-pound man coming at you 20 miles an hour.
and I
Yeah.
see it even with my nephew's football team. They could get in. They could have on hand, let's say, 100 helmets. Mm-hmm. They have to send all 100 helmets. Plus, they could get 25 new ones in. And out of those 100, they'll get back maybe, hopefully you get back more than 50%, if at least 2/3, and all the 25, so you can helmet your team, because there are helmets that cracks and everything else, and helmets that are defective before you even put them on the kid.
Listen, that's the equivalent of a motorcycle helmet. Once you have an accident,
You're done.
and your motorcycle helmet has made
Dented.
impact.
Yeah,
It's done. You need a brand new helmet.
Helmet.
And those things ain't cheap.
No.
But it still ain't protecting you from a concussion, no matter what. So, Mike, let's go and let's focus in on the best of AEW.
All right, so at the All-In pay-per-view, at the end, we had the triumphant return of Mr. Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Maxwell.
Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Okay.
MJF.
Gotta
And he came out.
enunciate.
It doesn't say it. And
not
he
with the
came out-
gum in your mouth.
Shut up. And he came out in true Triple H style. He had the jacket with the leather sleeves, and everybody thought he was going to have, on the back of the big patch, and everybody thought he was going to have, because Triple H had on the back of his jacket, the Triple H's. He had the lion that he has the tattoo of, the lion with the crown and the Star of David.
No, Jimmy.
What? Showing
No,
the picture?
no sound effects.
Who said sound effects?
No, I could hear it, and I'm not even through the microphone.
So he came out and he addressed the crowd because everybody's like, once he got hurt and he took time off, they took him off the roster, they took him off the website, and everybody's like, oh, is he going to WWE? Blah 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 blah. So he was like, and if anybody's wondering where I'm going, he goes, cameraman, get a close up of this, and he zoomed in on his ankle, and it's the Double or Nothing logo with AEW in the middle chip, and he's like, I'm here for life. He goes, I ain't fucking going nowhere, and everybody goes nuts. So fast forward to the main event. It was Edge versus... Actually, I can't even remember the main event because things happened and I didn't watch it.
Yes, we've been told the
Yes.
story outside.
But Edge ends up jumping off the cage, breaks his leg. And
Yeah.
this is
Malachi Black.
Malachi Black, thank you. This is a 50-year-old man jumping off of a cage. And we're like, dude, you proved you're a high flyer. Now you just need to take it off, keep it on the ground. We won't think anything different of you. Keep it on the ground. He broke his leg. He had to vacate the title. So this past Wednesday, we had on Dynamite. MJF comes back out again, addresses the crowd. Crowd goes nuts. Who comes out to interrupt him? Roosh. And Roosh is talking, and he has a very heavy Mexican Spanish accent. And MJF is in the ring trying not to break because he just can't stop himself from laughing. And he's like, dude, he goes, I gotta tell you, he goes, I didn't understand a goddamn word you just said. And everybody started going nuts. And this is building up between a MJF Roosh feud. Okay, I mean, good way to break him back in instead of just throwing him straight into a title run. You make him fight, not mid-carders, but, you know, somebody who can benefit being in the ring and getting exposure with an MJF character. I think the highlight of the night was after the main event. Swerve retains his title, and you have Swerve and Prince Nana in the ring, and Nana's doing his little shimmy whatever, and they look over, and they see a little old lady, little old grandma, and she goes, I swerve when I drive. She's holding up a sign that says, I swerve when I drive. So the two of them look over, they go out of the ring, and the last, 15 to 20 seconds is just, you have Swerve like this, Grandma in the middle, Nana on the other hand, and Nana's doing the thing, and Grandma's like this. Grandma's dancing too. And you hear Taz, way to go, Grandma. And the other guys are cracking up, and Swerve is just like this. He's loving it. Grandma's going nuts.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Right. I think that was the highlight. I think that was the highlight, was Grandma just going, swerving with a Swerve.
All right. So, I mean, that's the thing. We've had a lot of action of everything going on. You know, there's still plenty of stuff that's taking place in the world of wrestling. So we'll have more to talk about next time. But I got to drop a little bit of anime news because Netflix actually just went and released Baki Hanma versus Kengan Ashura on Netflix.
What?
Baki Hanma.
Benihana?
We're not doing this again.
Yes, we are.
No, we're not. So,
Third base.
Yeah. So Baki versus Kengan Ashura on Netflix. Screw you.
I'm sorry. Whenever you say that, I'm like, Benihana.
Nope.
Okay.
So anyway, they just released it, and Netflix has both series of Baki and Kengan Ashura. No, there's actually multiple.
I know, but whenever you say that,
there's literally multiple seasons of Baki where the title's different names.
Okay.
There's Baki the Grappler, which is the original first two seasons, which Netflix doesn't have.
Of course not.
But then they have Baki, and then they have Baki Hanma, which was the last. So seasons 3 and 4.
And then in 3 and 4, he's a chef, right?
No.
No, that's the bear. Leave him alone.
No, the bear is great, but
yeah.
Benihana's.
Anyway, but no. So we actually have a fighting anime between two different animes that are about tournament fighting, taking off and fighting each other, and they've got like a few matches with some of their big heavy hitters. So it's like an hour long. It's definitely worth a watch.
Okay.
So if you've watched either series, you will love how this comes out.
Do you need to watch any of the other 2 series to get this one?
Not really, because it's just it's in the middle, and they kind of explain certain things, and there's a lot of flashbacks.
Okay.
So they kind of give you like a backstory of where everything is. But I would highly recommend watching all of Baki, but also watching Kengan Ashura.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, there's actually a tie-in with Kengan Ashura with another anime, How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift?
Not very.
Well, for you, no. But no, this is it's an actual fitness anime where it's about a bunch of girls that go to the gym and they actually get fitness tips. They give you workout ideas and stuff, and they explain the different muscle groups. They'll explain like the diet and everything, and like the way calories work and the difference between free weights and like stationary machines.
So it's basically an anime workout video.
Well, it gives you a little bit of a workout at the end of each episode, but the characters actually tie in with Kengan Ashura. The thing is, the animation style has been so different, and originally How Heavy the Dumbbells You Lift showed up on Crunchyroll / Funimation. But, well, Funimation was still a thing. So now that's all moved over to Crunchyroll. So it may not tie in because the animation style is very different. But if you decide you want to read the manga for either, there is a tie-in that goes in between both.
Okay.
So there's plenty to watch there, and there's plenty of stuff that's dropped, but I can't keep up with all of it because there really has been so many new episodes of things that have come out that even I'm falling behind on some of it. So now we definitely have to talk about something else because I can see Jimmy's got something on his mind.
Oh, listen, I got two things.
But hang on 1 second, because we have now for something completely different. Start. Ready?
Whenever you're ready.
All right.
I'm dancing into frame.
Always a blast having you on the show.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Yes. So now I want to welcome you back. Everyone should be well aware of who you are at this point, but if they're not, Danielle Marette Hernandez is rejoining the episode so that she can explain to us and answer a few questions about the first half of season 3 of Bridgerton, which everyone completely loved your dramatic retelling of how everything was and your predictions. So let's start off with, how did you think your predictions came out?
Well, I don't think we're done answering that because we've only seen part 1. I think my predictions are unfulfilled, which is how a lot of the audience feels as well. We're unfulfilled. We're like, give us more. That's us shaking Shondaland by the shoulders aggressively.
Now, I saw a few reviews and stuff online about it and learning more about the story and everything, but you did a great retelling and catching everybody up. Now, when it comes down to it, though, we know this is the first half. There's going to be a second part of the season.
Absolutely.
So, how much were they able to maintain with the first half of the season along with the books, even though I know they said that it's now more a compendium of they took from different books, merged certain elements and took the stories as an overall.
I was having reactions to exactly that with my mother, who was watching Bridgerton with me. She knows what to expect. I am that person. and anytime something was lifted from another book, I would look over her and be like, they're doing it again. Let the other characters have that scene. But you know what? They're making it work for these characters, and it is miniature curations. It's not like giant plot points. It's just something a Bridgerton reader who knows the books is going to pick up on right away.
Yeah, now I know, I think that from some of the stuff I've seen online, one of the characters from season 1 who was originally supposed to be, they made him into kind of a jackass. He was supposed to marry one of the other characters.
Yes, okay. So you're talking about book character is our character one guy. Oh, now I'm blanking on it. Nigel Burbrook.
Yes.
Thank you. I know. I just need a minute. Nigel Burbrook is book accurate character, but not how we saw him in Shondaland. He is the one who marries Philippa, as opposed to the adorable Albion Finch, who is a Shondaland only character, and he's so sweet. And their relationship is actually one of the puppy love focuses of season 3 because they had a love match in season 1, they got married in season 2, and now in season 3 the Featherington sisters are off to the great baby race to see who can produce a male heir so that they can keep a roof over their heads because of the way laws worked at the time.
Yeah, now
Fun.
One of the things I did find really entertaining is the lack of knowledge that these girls have when it comes to, oh yeah, no, we're intimate all the time, and then it's like, oh yeah, we kiss, and then he changes his pants.
That scene is everyone's favorite scene. It has swept the internet. It is everywhere in Chops, but it also highlights this critical problem that humans continue to face no matter how much information we have, and that is this severe lack of information for the youth as to what to expect when you are coupled up. And in this case, what to expect is a carnal relationship with your partner. But what I want to focus on is, yes, it's this amusing scene. Her daughters didn't know. Obviously, Lady Featherington did not impart wisdom on them before they left. But they've been married about a year at this point. And so what I think that's also focusing on is that it was the same for young men. Like, if they did not go out there and did not prostitute or weren't encouraged by an older male to do this, they weren't getting the information either. If they weren't resourceful with finding books on it, they're not getting the information out there. So here we have this adorable married couple. They've been so sweet and they treat each other well, and they did not even know that they were not having carnal relations with each other. They truly were like kissing and done. That's how it's done.
Well, now, isn't that almost a little parallel to season 1 where she didn't know, like, his pullout game was that good that
she didn't know what pullout game was
Yeah.
in the first place, and how could she? Yeah, and see, now in season 1, it's really zeroed in on Daphne doesn't have this information, and so because of that, Daphne goes forth and causes this assault of someone's autonomy. And that's language we have. That's language we have today. I'm sorry, I've just whacked his autonomy. Apologies.
No, that's fine.
But that's what I'm saying. We have that information today. We can have this conversation today. But Daphne, 270 blah blah years ago. I'm counting math. I know how to math. The point is
I'm glad one of us knows how to math, because I don't.
The math was not mathing.
Yeah.
She doesn't even have the words sexual assault in her vernacular, so she would not know that staying on top of her husband while he is asking her to remove herself from him is it's criminal behavior in 2024. But in 1814, no, because she doesn't have that knowledge at all. She's like, I have an experiment, and I believe if I stay here, things are going to be different. And I mean, she's not wrong. Things were different, but as you were saying, this lack of sexual education shows up in season 1 and season 3 in particular with the lead character Daphne, and then with this side character of Philippa.
Which is also kind of funny because within the first episode, the oldest Bridgerton brother, he's in bed with his now wife, and he's going to a place where she's like, this isn't how you make babies.
Sir, I was watching that episode at the premiere. It was amazing. I was in the audience with all these other people, so you get the live reactions of everyone watching this new episode of Bridgerton together. And when that scene came on, and it's Anthony and it's Kate, and they were having their moment, I was like, remember which romance novel we are in, please. Yeah. It was like main character energy has to shift now, sir. But that was great. And also the point, like, just enjoying each other for pleasure, where it does not have to be exclusively about baby making. That's a byproduct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how close was the helping of... I always forget the characters' names at this point.
It's not even a little bit what happened.
Yes,
no.
but, our Lady Whistledown getting all the help that she needs to get a husband. Was that any book accurate? Were there some changes that were made?
Well, yes. There were so many changes that were made. The only, like, truly book accurate moment that I can say for a fact that we saw in these first 4 episodes is Penelope asking Colin to kiss her, saying that she does not want to die never knowing what a kiss is like. Also in the book, she's 28 as opposed to in the show where it's been 3 years, so she's about 19 now. So there's like a 10-year difference between the ages of these two characters. But in the book, like, she's firmly on the shelf. At 28, you're a spinster and you're gonna die alone. And Penelope asks this of Colin, and he accepts, and it is the kiss that changes everything, because that friendship was already there. The basis of liking each other was already there. The only wool before his eyes was treating her like a sister because she was his sister's best friend. And by the way, this falling out is also show only, because in the book nobody finds out until it's time. Colin finds out before Eloise in the book.
And what is it, book 8, 9?
No, it's in her book. It's in the 4th book. Actually, after the 4th book, it's way less prevalent to see Lady Whistledown mentioned at all.
Okay, so that's another change that they made.
Yeah, for good measure. This is what's been driving the series. So if you get rid of Lady Whistledown too soon, then where is the narrative going to come from next?
Okay, so now we don't have that long for the second half of the season.
It's like 2 weeks from the point of us recording.
Yes. So with that being said, what elements are you expecting them to bring in for the second half?
Okay, so there's a lot of fan theories that are brewing around. First off, we are going to find out who's Lady Whistledown. That is absolutely going to happen this season. It happens in her book. It would not make sense to hype it up as much as they have and then not deliver on it. So Penelope's going to get outed one way or another. How that will happen, I don't know. We must see. Another thing we must expect to see is Cressida Cowper. Her character has been fleshed out a lot more in the series than she ever was in the book. In the book, she's dominantly there to be the bully, to be the antagonist, and then to get punished for being the bully and the antagonist. Things never work out for Cressida in the books. But they've humanized her in the series. They're showing her as a person, how isolated she is in her own home and her own family, and how finding this husband is like, that's it. That's survival at the time. So we're going to see her get more cutthroat. Potentially, this is all fan theory now. A lot of fan theories that I've been seeing and hearing about are speculating that Cressida will be married off to another book character that we see later on. They have nothing to do with each other in the books, but we're suspecting we'll see them linked together.
Just to try to tie some of the characters
together. And now they have so many show-only characters that do take up a lot of the screen time, like the Mondrich family, the boxer and his wife. They are, show-only, but they're also fan favorites, so we see a lot of them.
Well, isn't that also kind of a good thing, because having the lead from season 1 basically now not returning?
Yeah. We know whose fault that is. Radiation Page. Hey, listen, I'm glad that he's got his own acting career, but even to see Daphne and Simon as a glimpse in the background, the way we got to see Kate and Anthony would be so nice. It would be so nice. No, she's not in this season. She is in Colin's book, though, which is like a twist of the knife, isn't it? It's just like, I know you were in the story, but not anymore. Yeah.
So
no, the characters that are in the show, that's where the focus is going to go.
So now we've seen, like, in the coming attraction, there's a bunch of stuff for, like, showing Lady Whistledown having to reveal herself. Otherwise, it's going to come out another way.
Yes, because now in the show, Eloise knows. She's kept her secret, but she knows. And she knows what Penelope has written about her own family, about her own brother, who has now proposed, which is also book accurate. He does propose after that carriage scene, so well done, Shonda. What was I saying? Oh, right, Eloise. So she knows in the show she's going to do everything in her power to protect her brother because of this malicious side of Penelope that Eloise has become aware of. Not a thing in the book, so we're going to see this competition get ramped up. In the book, the way that Lady Whistledown gets outed is that Penelope is talking with Lady Danbury, another fan favorite. She is in all of the books. And Lady Danbury is the one who inspires this let's unmask Whistledown contest. Yeah, I know words. Excellent. Contest. So we got a glimpse at the very last episode. There's a teaser trailer. Did you see the teaser trailer? And so, okay, in that teaser trailer, we see there is going to be a countdown to a midnight in which Lady Whistledown will be unveiled. But how will they do it in the show? I don't know. They mixed things up. Lord Debling, he's not a character in the book. Oh, side note, I just did a quick deep dive on the Northwest Passage and everyone who tried to explore it previous to 1905. So goodbye, Lord Debling. R.I.P., buddy.
Well, I guess that might be a character that doesn't return.
Nope. Ever again, apparently.
Well, they've changed a few things, so who knows if they'll change that part of history.
Yeah, really.
No, so we have a lot to look forward to for the second half of the season. Now, do you think that splitting the season up was a good idea?
Yes, I do. I'm just going to interject right there.
Okay.
I think this was the best thing they could have done because, look, we're getting together twice in the same year, let alone sooner, but twice to talk about this show. It was brilliant to cut it in half because, one, it is spacing out the episodes and giving us fans, room to breathe, room to fangirl over everything. The memes are memeing, and all of the fan theories are brewing. And it's giving everyone else opportunity to go around and to do their marketing materials. They have traveled to so many countries at this point. I'm amazed. Last time I checked, they were in Brazil promoting Bridgerton. Yeah. And that was already a couple of weeks ago. I am now behind. So that was great. And now we have the second half of the episodes to look forward to. We're going to have this longing that we've been left with fulfilled, hopefully, because, at the end of every season, there is a happily ever after. Those are the rules. We got it in season 1, we got it in season 2, but they do have to leave threads to keep the seasons going. So I'm really excited for the second half. I really hope they do this moving forward as well. Break the seasons up, let us breathe, let us fangirl, and then let us go.
Now, because you have that stance on it, Netflix was always known for a complete season dump in one shot so everybody can just binge. Now, do you think the halfway point is good, or would you have preferred if they went week to week, like a classic style?
Sure. I mean, that is what makes this different, is that week to week is the traditional pacing we grew up with. I like that they didn't do week to week. They're not going to force you to wait, but they kind of are... they're promoting micro binges now. Like, we know you want a bunch of episodes at a time. Here you go. Enjoy these, and I'll be back later with more. This way we care about it longer. This is so many years of work, all right? I mean, we have to wait 4 weeks. Oh, no. At least that's not another 2 years for this series. Fingers crossed.
Well, we'll see how long it takes after the end of season 3 to now get season 4. And you had mentioned that there's supposed to be a spin-off, which is supposed to be book 3.
So it's not a spin-off. It's going to be the next... Well,
we don't know how...
Let me not predict what's the next season.
No one knows exactly which is going to be the next adaptation.
Next speculation, exactly. Will they give us Benedict's story, which is the 3rd book, and does happen way before Colin and Penelope get together? Will it be Eloise's book, which happens almost simultaneously with Penelope's book? Like, the events that play out in Penelope's book directly correlate to Eloise's romance novel taking off. So who will it be? Which Bridgerton? Benedict or Eloise? I will tell you right now, the fan base is seething for Benedict. We're like, give us Benedict or give us death. And right now they've been giving us death.
Well, I don't know. I think
we'll
it kind of seems like they've been teasing him a little bit with all of his antics in the background and hiding from all the mothers that are looking to hook up with their daughters with him.
That's this season. No. I know. Actually, I love Benedict, but this first few episodes, I was less favorably inclined to watch Benedict because he has less purpose this season, and we're feeling that. So really all he has right now is escaping debutantes and mamas because he's not ready to settle down. By the way, in his own book, he's not ready to settle down until he decides, well, maybe I should settle down. He's still all about the mistresses and the less partying, but that's the part we're getting now. Like, he's getting amped up before he gets really tired and it's like, I think I need to go find love now. But will it be the next season? I don't know. We'll see. I feel like the love interest they've given him now is sort of a holdover to whet the appetite. Although I don't know about other Bridgerton fans, but my appetite is not whetted.
Okay, now...
It is not.
Now, I have to ask before we wrap up everything.
Yeah.
Is the mom having a relationship a part of the book, or is this a Shondaland thing? Because it seems like there's some chemistry going on.
What do you think, Dan? What do
I
you
think this is a Shondaland original.
It's 1,000% a Shondaland original. And it's fun. It's exciting. We love a good Violet Bridgerton. In the books, she's the mama to have, and in the show, she is living up to the expectations. But in the books, like, she's had her love story. She's not seeking anything else. Her garden is not in bloom in the books. But in the show, Violet Bridgerton's like, I'm not dead, okay? I'm showing my children how to find the way. Sorry, microphone. Showing my children how to find the way, and I am also going to find my way. So this is definitely looking like it's going to lead somewhere saucy.
All right. So with that being said, I want to thank you for being here. And
pleasure.
is there anything you want to promote for yourself that's coming up?
Oh, very exciting. What to promote for myself, guys? You can follow me on Instagram at Des Marivette. That's DezMarivette. You'll find me on Instagram, TikTok, all the social medias, and you can fangirl with me, or we do random things as well. And honestly, I'm just looking forward to catching these next 4 episodes with the fans, and then we'll talk and go forward and see where it's going from here.
Oh, yeah, because I definitely want to have you back after the season is over for a full recap.
Oh, and we will. And we will have to talk about the costumes next time because they're out of control. Unhinged.
Well,
someone rope that costume designer back in.
Well, we're going to have to talk next time. We're definitely going to talk about the costumes, but we also have to talk about the musical covers.
Ooh, yes. I mean, is there time? Is there time for Pitbull right now? Mr. Worldwide is what everyone's calling Colin Bridgerton now.
That's what it seems like.
They're calling him Mr. Fingerton.
Well, I want to thank you for being here, and thank you because we're definitely looking forward to having you back.
So excited to
So make sure you follow Danielle, and back to the rest of the podcast, guys.
Enjoy.
We're back. There was a few issues with the filming for the interview I just played with myself and Danielle Marivette Hernandez, because I had her back to discuss the beginning of Bridgerton for season 3. So my dumbass went and screwed up the footage for one. So did the best I could. Her footage came out fine of the close-up of her. Everything else, the wide shot,
Well, you know,
I couldn't even use.
We'd rather see her than you. No offense.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Saying, throwing it out there.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, no, she did a great job explaining everything and giving some predictions, and I'll have her back on after the season's over so that we can discuss how everything came out for season 3 of that. I know you guys aren't into it, but it's still something that I enjoy and a lot of other people enjoy. So, Jimmy, what do you got?
All right. It's been announced. MeTV, MeTunes.
Oh, yes, I sent you the information on that one.
Yes, but now they've gone and they've
Say how you can watch it?
Their lineup is pretty good. Now
Their
we just got to
lineup is
figure out how to
stacked.
watch it.
And
Exactly.
also from the hours of 1 to 5:30, they
AM or
have
PM?
they have everything between Thunderbird, Supercar, Speed Racer, Joe 90, Police Academy, the series, The Mask.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. I have to
Yes.
laugh a little bit here because you took your glasses off to read your phone.
Yes, because it's too small. And I'm trying. Oh,
You-
got it.
Just
Yeah.
pinch and expand.
And that would work. They're bringing back everything between Peter Potamus with his Hippo Hurricane Holler and their cartoon all-stars, which will consist of Woody Woodpecker, Popeye, Mr. Magoo, Tom and Jerry, Droopy, and Casper. And I'll tell you, not for nothing, but this lineup, like Mike said, and I agree, is stacked. Amazing.
The real Ghostbusters.
Oh, yeah. This is all classic
Alf.
cartoons.
The
Even-
GoBots.
Even the GoBots are back.
Listen, the fact that there's a place where you can actually watch Woody Woodpecker cartoons.
Well, Saturday morning on MeTV, they have it at
Yeah.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock is the
Looney
Looney
Tunes.
Tunes, and at 7 o'clock is Popeye and
Yeah.
Friends.
Well, see, that's the thing. These are cartoons like we all grew up with as kids. And I remember having to get my grandmother buying like VHS tapes and having like the assortment
Yep.
of like you get a Woody Woodpecker cartoon, you get a Popeye cartoon, and you get a few different other cartoons mixed in there. And those were always so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the fact that MeTV is now coming out with this separate channel, MeTV Cartoons.
But maybe we have
yeah.
to know what channel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's going to be an app. Because I think there's an
don't
app
know.
that you can watch MeTV, even though you can watch it regularly on cable.
No idea.
Hopefully it'll be another app because right now MeTV is shared with the Spectrum channel
Yeah.
as well.
So it's kind of shared with Spectrum.
It's 33 and 12 something on the Spectrum TV.
And it's 503 on Fios.
Well, you should know that better than anybody else. Because the original MeTV is a lot of what you watch on a regular.
But
I watch
also-
a lot of MeTV. I watch a lot of Cartoon Network,
Hey.
Science Channel. Travel
Boomerang,
Channel.
Primarily MASH.
Yeah. But I've been finally waiting to say this because I had to write it down. I follow James Gunn on Instagram.
All right, what else you got? Come on, give it to us.
Peacemaker second season is in production.
Thank God.
Very good.
Amen. Besides Daredevil, Born Again, yippee yippee, but also something that caught my eye with Zachary Levi coming out August 2nd. If you've read it as a kid, you'll probably have a laugh and enjoy it. Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Wow.
Oh, he's doing that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think If gave him a big boost to do that.
Well, you know what? Zachary Levi has been pushing for quite a while to get a Chuck movie made. Mm-hmm. And I'm a huge fan of the series Chuck. Every episode really was an action movie.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, and you guys both know my buddy Russell. Mm-hmm. So, and Russell working at Circuit City back in the day, it was almost like he was part of the Chuck crew. You could almost picture him there. So, yeah. Because, let's face it, it was like he was always doing something. And when you're a tech guy, it's like at a place that's basically, the Buy More was a Circuit City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and those stores really don't exist anymore. But to see the show like Chuck, it hit everything you could want with comedy and action, and it really felt like every episode was an action movie. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I know he was talking, and I've seen footage of him talking about doing a Chuck podcast.
Okay.
So rewatching Chuck to get the metrics to be able to bring it back to the studios to try to get a movie made.
Listen, Pod Meets World can do their podcast. Go for it.
Listen, Pod Meets World is doing a great job with what they're doing. I got to play catch up on a lot of episodes because I fell behind because they started doing a bunch of different things where, although there's one episode I've got on my list to watch because they talked to Amy Jo Johnson, the original Pink Power Ranger. So about like the not being on TV in the 90s.
She's going to be in New York City in August.
Oh yeah. Well,
at the Fanatics.
Well, that's not surprising considering she's been writing the Power Rangers comic book that she came up with, where it's like the team reuniting after so many years.
This isn't even New York Comic Con. This is Fanatics.
No, she can. Yeah. Listen, Amy Jo Johnson could show up at any convention, and I'm pretty sure her line has got to be massive.
Around the block.
Yeah, because let's face it, she was probably considered up there within the 90s as one of the top 4, like every guy's crush.
And she did more than Power Rangers.
Amy Jo Johnson, Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Yep.
Those are the top 2. Who are the other 2?
Well, Danielle Fitchell.
3.
Katie Sakharov.
No, that was later.
Oh, okay.
No, I said like in the 90s.
Why am I thinking Battlestar was in the late 90s?
No, Battlestar was in the early 2000s.
Okay.
Because remember, I had to keep telling you, if you called me on Tuesday, somebody better be dead or dying, or I'm going to show up at your door and kill you.
That's right.
That threat held for the entire run of Battlestar Galactica.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if I choose to pull out the DVDs and watch those, yes, that threat
I
will
thought they
still
were on Fridays, though.
No, Tuesdays. Trust me, I'm going to remember.
I believe you.
That was the day I made sure. I told everybody, like, nope.
Don't talk to me.
And just also on trailers that I've been watching, Wednesday season 2 is scheduled for October. That looks really good. And Umbrella Academy final season. See, there's enunciation.
Is there? Because you were kind of stumbling there
I
too.
was like, bleep, that's all.
That all
folks.
false.
Listen, we're all going to trip up over what we're saying because we're all trying. There's no script here. This is all off the cuff.
Yeah.
We're talking about things because we're having an actual conversation, even though we're trying to be informative. Trying.
Is the operative word.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We're all trying to do our little thing of getting our information out there. Which, Jimmy, don't you have something you need to plug? Aren't you in like some kind
The
of
top
contest?
15 of the favorite chef.
Yeah. How are you placing so far?
I'm in 4th place in my group. I'm in the top 15.
And how can people vote for you?
You can check on my link on Instagram or check my Facebook page, James Haynes IV, where I have a link you can click and vote.
So make sure you guys check and vote for Jimmy.
And if you'd like to also vote and make a donation to the James Beard Foundation, a very good cause to helping young chefs, please do. It all helps out both ways.
So now, Mike, I got a question for you.
I have an answer for you.
I kind of fell off watching hockey because I got a little disappointed. Rangers fell out of it, didn't they?
Yes, they did. They lost in 6.
And I sent you I sent you a TikTok video of like, really? Florida, the Panthers made it again?
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
And honestly, when you watch the
For
Rangers,
a state that doesn't have any snow or ice.
Wait a minute. Let me announce something and let me help him out here. Something. The team that has the ugliest curse right now is in Canada. Not a United States team anymore. Canadian. Toronto Maple Leafs. What are they now? What? 50 years, 60 years without a cup?
yeah, yeah, they just made it past the first round 2 seasons ago.
It took them that long,
Took
huh?
them not long to make it
Yeah.
past the.
Nah.
It was basically like their biggest rival is they put the Maple Leaf logo up and then anybody in the first round. It was ridiculous. I mean, but Florida played the Rangers tough. Anytime one of the Rangers got their stick on the puck, there was at least 2 Panthers on them. They have no room to. The Rangers played a spread out game where, okay, it's like 1-on-1, you have room to pass the puck. You get it, you have a second or two to look up and make a play. That's how Panera makes his money. That's how Zibanejad makes his money. Kreider makes a living off living in front of the net, getting the tip in. Whenever one of those guys had the puck, you had 2 Panthers on them immediately, and you either take a bad shot or it was deflected, and they couldn't do anything. And Panthers had the Rangers' number.
Sorry, I just stopped myself from laughing because just the tip.
You're an idiot.
May Connor McDavid win the cup.
I want to see Connor not because Florida knocked out the Rangers, it's because I want to see that
deserves
group
it.
of guys.
I honestly say
McDavid
They're
works his
hungry.
ass off. Draisaitl works his
hungry.
ass off.
Yep. He's
Nugent Hopkins works his ass off. I want to see Edmonton hoist the cup.
All right. Now, the Acolyte came out. Even though we would normally be calling it Star Wars, the Acolyte, it's only listed as the Acolyte. But it takes place in the Star Wars universe.
100 years before the Phantom Menace.
Yep.
yes.
Which, thank God.
But you can still see Yoda and Chewie pop up.
Well,
They're older. They already said they're.
yeah, but they haven't been in the,
haven't been in it yet.
2 episodes.
right.
So let's just
Let's
be
start with the
thankful.
first two.
Yeah, let's work on the first 2 episodes because I believe by the time our next episode comes out, we're going to be able to talk about the boys.
Yeah.
So now, what did you think of the first episode of Acolyte?
Honestly, I had a little problem because something happened with my Fire Stick. I got halfway through it, and then it just shit the bed. So from what I saw, I liked how in the opening sequence when they were going after Trinity, how
Carrie-Anne Moss?
Yeah, Carrie-Anne Moss, Trinity. She wasn't throwing. She wasn't doing. Wasn't using her lightsaber. She was throwing knives at her, which I thought, that's a different take on it.
Well, that character does not have a lightsaber at all.
Why did? Well,
Because
okay,
the Acolyte is using no weapons
but again,
other than throwing daggers, which makes,
makes
it's
no
like
sense.
you still have weapons.
but for somebody who didn't know that, you're like, okay, this is a good this is interesting. This is
Yeah.
a different take on it. Little confused that you see what happened to happens to Carrie Ann. Want to see what happens with her character a little bit later on. It was right around that my Fire Stick decided to say, fuck you, and die. So this afternoon, I went home, I watched a recap. I was like, okay, now, no. The characters, okay, it's not just one person with like a split identity. I'm like, okay, cool, very cool. I started watching the second episode. Spoilers. I started watching the second episode, and again, I got about halfway through it, and my Fire Stick said, fuck you! Again. So I got halfway through it. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing so far. I probably have to wait until Wednesday, watch the recap, so I know what the fuck happened in the end of the second one, get halfway through the third one before my Fire Stick says, fuck you! And then do it all again next week.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
Fuck you!
Oh god, there's no PG on this one at all.
No, but Best Buy called Mike, your new Fire Stick's ready.
Fuck you!
Oh yeah, no.
And let me tell you,
I was bad enough, but that just
was good. That takes the cake.
Yep.
But I'll tell you, I watched it.
Enough. Okay, I think we got that one.
Oh, wait, we got that out. You know when we let all that out, all that stress and aggravation out. From start to finish on this Acolyte, you have to stay focused. Mm-hmm. I've learned that watching it through. It's nice to see Coruscant brightly lit. Still, the Jedis are
In its heyday.
In the heyday, and part of the council. And then you don't hear about like the Empire or anything like that.
Because there is none.
No Empire.
Exactly. And you just hear about this Sith. And it's like, you see...
Is it a Sith? That's the thing. They're not saying...
They just showed you the image with a red saber.
With the red saber. And again, they're leading you in one direction.
Yep.
But, you know, they can say, okay, we're leading you here, but now we're not doing it.
And how they left off at episode 2, I can't say nothing because somebody's...
Fire Stick said...
I don't think...
Fuck you.
No. It said, fuck you! I honestly don't give a shit about
chopstick or
spoilers.
fork.
Yeah.
I honestly don't give a shit about spoilers, so knock yourself out.
No, he doesn't care.
I don't care. Say it.
But to see a Wookiee with that
Yes.
A
much force,
Wookiee Jedi.
Yes.
Wookiee Jedi.
They have
that
Wookiee
was
Jedis.
awesome.
Yeah, that was something I was not expecting.
Well, you saw in the trailers the Wookiee with the yellow lightsaber.
Well, that was the thing. I didn't watch the trailers. I tried to stay as clear as possible because I was like, I want to go in this clean as best I can without like really going too deep into this.
I seen the trailers. I went in just open-minded on it too.
The thing is, when it comes to anything Star Wars at this point, I like not knowing things. It's like, okay, you know, I see a few things where it's like, okay, I know Carrie Ann Moss is going to be in there. That's fine. You know, you see like the actors like holding lightsabers and like trying to show off and like you see the stunt doubles pop up. That to me is fun. It's not giving anything away.
Right.
I want to be able to go into something that isn't part of the original trilogy or the prequel trilogy. It's, you know, The Mandalorian, I want to know more. But that's because it's taking place within the time frame of where we have an idea of what's going on. When it comes to something like the Acolyte, we don't need to know.
Right.
Because there is no Empire. It's just the Republic. And it makes me have a little bit of that reminiscence feeling that I had of the first time playing Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I really wish they would have done was a Knights of the Old Republic series.
Well, weren't they supposed to do it? And then Lucas said, "Fuck you!"
No, Lucas was a jackass because when they went, they were doing they were supposed to come out with a third game for Knights of the Old Republic. It was supposed to come out with 3, and he decided, I'm going to roll everything in, and we're going to make the Revenge of the Sith game.
Which wasn't that good.
It wasn't that good. It was terrible. The gameplay was awful. Like the levels themselves were
cheesy.
Yeah. It was like, you know what? I could just watch the damn movie.
I beat it twice to get both endings, and I was like, I never beat video games.
Yeah. I mean, the games that I always end up beating would be like The Force Unleashed 1 and 2 because you wanted to see how those ended, and you also wanted to see both endings.
Right. I think I can count on one hand how many video games total I've ever beaten.
Oh, I can count the number of games
Me
I've
too.
beat. The problem is how many games I didn't beat, because let's face it, we grew up at a point where there was no way to really save unless you had a Game Genie.
Not even unless you had like Legend of Zelda.
Yep, where there actually was a save. Final Fantasy, where there were saves.
Or
Kingdom Hearts.
if you had a code
Yeah.
that allowed you to pick up where you left off.
Game Genie.
Yeah.
No, Punch Out, they gave you a code.
Yeah, so listen, Mega Man gave you codes to jump to the levels, but at the same time, you still had to redo
You had to
certain
redo the
things.
level, yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, it was a Game Genie. That was it. Like the Game Genie, which eventually became a Game Shark down the line. So there was always a device that gave you a way to,
To beat it.
yeah.
And
But
then there was the internet and all the books.
yeah, that was if you were lucky enough
Yeah.
to have the internet at home to be able to do that.
I broke so many Nintendos because of just the gamer rage.
Oh yeah, but that's the thing, like with the Acolyte, it's something that I've been enjoying. Although the first episode was very slow.
Yeah.
The pacing went, and it made it a little difficult for me. I liked the story, but it was the pacing. It felt very slow, and that's my only like real criticism, was that it was like, I can't watch it if I'm tired
Right.
in any shape, way, or form, because I have to be able to stay awake to watch it. And I know, like, when The Boys comes out, I'm not going to have that problem. So when it comes down to it, it's like if the pacing is too slow, it makes it a little harder for me to like really stay focused on it. And then because I know I'm going to get distracted, and I don't want to get distracted. I want to pay attention. I get it. Disney wants me to rewatch it over and over again. I'm not going to do that.
No.
What I would like for Disney to do is start releasing physical media again. Yeah, I get it. You guys want me to stick with your streaming platform. But you know what happens after a certain point? You're going to get rid of your content.
Yeah.
You're going to slap it back in the vault. And I'd rather be able to watch it when I want to watch it than have to sit there and take up with your crap. But this is all these streaming platforms have encouraged piracy on such a level.
Yeah.
Because people want to be able to watch stuff.
When they want to.
Yeah. And not that I'm looking through like Disney Plus, and I had like a list early on before they started making a bunch of changes and trying to slap Hulu stuff in there. And first off, I got annoyed with the fact that on my list of things that they were offering, like, hey, you might want to watch this, was my 600-pound life. Like, are you kidding me? I do not want to watch my 600-pound life. I don't want to watch 1,000-pound sisters. I don't want to watch some of these things, but I do like the zombie house flippers.
I mean, how do you let yourself get that big? Like, I have to go to the hospital, knock down that wall.
When they have to cut open the wall to get you out of your house, there's a problem. But then again, that's the same thing with the hoarders.
Yeah.
But why do we need a show about this?
We don't.
Because it feels like when you make a show about it, you're glorifying it. And I'm not going to shame anybody, because you know what? Medications do affect people's weight.
Definitely, yes.
There's, injuries can cause people to gain weight and everything. Depression's definitely going to hit. But if you're not going to try to take care of yourself, and you've gotten yourself to the point where you have a show, My 600-Pound Life,
You have issues.
you really need to really reevaluate everything. I mean, the Biggest Loser, when you found out that on that show, they were telling people to gain weight before they started recording,
Yeah.
so that you would have a bigger dramatic weight loss
Right.
early on. It goes to show, like, they're staging too much stuff. And I feel like My 600-Pound Life is staging way
Yeah,
too much.
I heard the guy on Staten Island that went on,
What,
he
My
gained the weight
600-Pound
back.
Life?
No. The Biggest Loser.
Yeah.
He gained the weight back.
They said the majority of people who went on that show, they regained the weight and then some.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, if you're doing it just to get on the show, then that really means you don't want to lose the weight.
Well, the thing is, I think they did want to lose the weight, but when they start putting an add-on caveat of, hey, you've got to put on like another 50 pounds so we can get a dramatic
Yeah.
weight loss for the beginning of the show, it kind of takes the piss out of everything.
Yeah.
And you're like, now you're really going to demotivate
All right, so
somebody.
I dropped 50 pounds and I'm at the weight I started at.
Yeah.
I love to see how, no joke, if you remember Celebrity Fit Club, how Phil Margera looks because he lost so much weight and how much he put back on.
Well, that was the
himself.
thing. Celebrity Fit Club, like the boot camp that they did,
Yeah.
was they always had some interesting celebrities on there. But I remember, like, they even had, like, I can't remember which celebrity it was, but they were calling them out for using, like, weight loss pills. So the fact that they were taking fat burners, it was like, and this is why you're having a problem right now, because you're trying to shortcut it because you're not doing everything. Listen, if you're going to take a supplement like that, you have to be exercising. You have to be strict on the diet.
Yep.
You can't just think a pill is going to magically make everything go away. It's not Ozempic.
It's just like that surgery.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, I got the surgery, and now let me know. You
Nope.
get the surgery, but you can get the weight back.
Yeah,
Yup.
which I have to ask you guys, did you guys see the latest South Park like movie that they dropped?
No.
Their South Park special, The End of Obesity.
Oh, wait a minute. And then they make a skinny Cartman?
Yeah, Cartman has dreams of himself being skinny.
I saw pictures. I didn't see it.
Is this going to be on Paramount Plus?
Yes, it already is.
Oh, boy.
It is. I'm sure it'll end up getting chopped up and put as episodes
Yeah.
for the new season. But oh my God, this thing had me laughing because you have a group of the moms in the town all taking Ozempic and like the other weight loss drugs, and it's like they're pulling off their own heists because they don't have enough of the drugs. So like they're robbing like the stores. They're all wearing crop tops, so their six-pack abs are showing. And it's like, we know who you are. You have to show your abs off no matter where you go. And Cartman's entire reason for wanting to lose the weight is so that no one would be able to call him a fat ass again and make fun of his weight, but he could insult everyone else. And that's exactly what he does.
What it showed.
Oh no, he doesn't lose the weight. Why would you have him lose the weight?
Exactly.
Beefcake!
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, South Park went above and beyond. And when they do stuff like this, I love that they are able to get this stuff out so quickly. But at the same time, I'm like, please stop putting everything out as a movie on, like a special on Paramount Plus. I really thought they were being sued. There was a lawsuit between Paramount Plus and Warner Brothers because Warner Brothers Max has the deal where they get all the seasons of South Park.
That's why they started making the movies, because it's a movie. It's not an episode.
Oh, no, but then they break them apart and release them as episodes. So you've just made a movie, which it's like, okay, this is like an hour and a half long. Congratulations, here's 3 episodes for the season. And now we've already cut half of our production. So now we just went. It's like, okay, now it'll come out later on Max. So it just happens to be one of those things where you're just like, really?
It's a loophole.
It's a loophole, but I could swear they were there was the lawsuit. I don't know if they ever resolved it or not, but
It's probably one of those things where it was like, okay, you did it, you found a loophole, and they had to make an amendment to the contract.
yeah. Well, that's why like Scarlett Johansson sued Disney, and I know she won because let's face it, there was no way she was going to lose when she's actually right about her contract, where you violate someone's contract. I'm sorry, even if whatever job you have a contract. This is your responsibilities. And the employer has the same responsibilities that's in that contract.
Right.
Her contract stated the movie had to go to the theaters for X amount of time before getting released on streaming. And they did the streaming and the box office same time. So she lost out on that back revenue money. That, you know what? Actors make a lot of money when they reach that level.
Yeah.
So they're taking a loss. That's why they're asking for that back end money of, okay, well, I'll take it for this and I'll just get a percentage of whatever's made after it makes money at the box office.
Right.
Problem is,
You're not making money at the box office, it goes right to streaming.
yeah. But she wanted to renegotiate the contract, and they didn't want to listen, and they didn't even want to reach out while she's reaching out to them, like, hey, let's work on something. Let's get this so we can do all this. And
They're like, hey, I'm Disney,
And
fuck you.
Yeah, and that's why Jungle Cruise.
what was that?
Like, hey, I'm Disney, fuck you!
There you go.
And that's why Jungle Cruise was the last to do both,
Yeah,
and for both streaming and in the theaters.
because Dwayne sued as well.
Yeah, and then what Disney did
I mean,
was
we should definitely sue Dwayne for the Jungle Cruise. 'Cause
We had to see it.
yeah.
We didn't have
There
to
it
see
is,
it.
the backside of water.
But also,
The backside of his career.
Disney and Marvel were like, you know what? Let's do it this way. We're going to wait X amount of months, and then we're going to put the movie on to Disney Plus and everything.
But that's the thing. That's
What
where
they did with Black Panther.
But that's what everything is doing now. Because if you notice, sometimes some of the movies are still in the theater,
Yeah.
but they're on Amazon for rental.
yeah.
Which, you know what? I don't care about that, because if you want to watch it, guess what? I don't have to sit in a theater with people who couldn't find a babysitter, so they brought their kids to a movie they shouldn't be watching in the first place. Oh my God. It's a lifesaver. I could watch something at home and stop the movie, pause it, go take a bathroom break.
And not miss anything.
Considering you made the movie 3-4 hours long.
Thank you, Peter Jackson.
It's not even Peter Jackson's fault.
He started it, though.
No, he didn't. Cameron did.
No, he didn't. DeMille did.
Listen, they were all making, back in the day, they at least gave you an intermission.
Yeah.
But DeMille gave you the intermission.
Well, no, even back in the day, like when you look, like, what is it? Gone with the Wind. There's an intermission.
10 Commandments, Ben-Hur,
Yeah, they were all
Mad World. They all had intermission.
Disney's Fantasia. There's an
Yes,
intermission.
in that.
But when you go and you look at like the more modern day,
There's
and
no intermissions.
there's no intermissions. But in the 90s, the first movie that came out that took up way too much fucking time was Titanic, and that was Cameron. Mm-hmm. So when you go and you make a movie that literally was 2 VHS tapes, the only other one before that was the Godfather series.
Oh.
So
Right Stuff was Right Stuff and Ragtime were 2 VHS tapes,
yeah, but
and they were.
who was really watching those other than you?
Thank you.
I like the right stuff.
Yeah,
But Ragtime?
Ragtime wasn't bad. That was.
I didn't see
James-
Ragtime. I saw the right
Yeah,
stuff about
that
the
was
space
Cagney's
program.
last
Yeah.
movie.
Whose?
Cagney.
Either way, we know that Titanic was like a big exodus because everybody figured, hey, they can make a movie this long. Peter Jackson just made a trilogy that it needed to be long anyway. So
I just think it's funny. Everybody went to go see the movie Titanic, and they knew what the fuck happened at the end.
I've still never seen it.
Spoilers: the boat sinks.
Yeah, that's why I didn't see it.
Spoilers, it's an iceberg in the water.
Yeah.
We were doing that when we were waiting to get into the film. We're sitting there, we're like, it sinks at the end.
Now there is,
No, the best spoiler. Russell, Rosebud's a slut.
yeah, we did that to Russell. Yeah, it's like he didn't want any Star Wars spoilers for Episode 2. It's like Darth Vader's Luke's father. Rosebud's a sled. No, I'm like now though. I have to say, I don't know if you guys have been watching, but on Disney Plus, they've been streaming the new season of Doctor Who.
Not really a Doctor Who guy. I know it's getting backlash for this current incarnation of the Doctor, but
Well, they got backlash for the last incarnation of the Doctor, Jodie Whittaker.
I don't mind having the Doctor a female. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
And I don't care about this guy. Oh,
Shooty Gatwin.
whatever the fuck he is.
His name is Shooty Gatwin.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, I'm pansexual in this. I don't give a shit. Play the character.
It's actually not even about that. One of the biggest controversies has to be the latest episode that came out, where it was Bubble. What was it? I think it was like Bubble was in the title. It was about a bunch of people and like on a planet where they have like a bubble that's over their heads. And it's all like different social media channels. They're talking to like their friends and stuff. And you find out by the end of this that
They're on Earth.
no, they're racist. the pod that was basically creating the bubble basically went and created like this giant slug creatures because it realized the people were all horrible. And basically it's like vapid idiots. Basically, these things were killing. Well, they're just devouring everybody.
Basically, it's idiocracy.
But the thing is, the Doctor goes and he's offering to take these people with them to save them, and they're like, "Nope, can't do it." They didn't want to be with him because he's not white.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like, you know what? For all of Doctor Who's what is it, 60 plus years, has always been a white
guy.
character, because was also a female, but all the incarnations of the main doctors that we've seen have all been white men and one white woman. Although during the Jodie Whittaker's time, there was a female black doctor that was there as well.
Yeah.
But now, Ncuti Gatwin, the first time, the doctor is now experiencing racism, where it's like he could walk in to anywhere and nobody ever cared. Now, all of a sudden, he has to come face to face with this.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, the specials that they did with bringing David Tennant back were absolutely amazing. And they even had Neil Patrick Harris playing the toy maker, one of the villains. And it was phenomenal. And I think this is a good time for anybody who, if they wanted to get into Doctor Who, because the 15th Doctor at the Regeneration, it's a pretty decent starting off point for people, unless they really are willing to go back to 2005. Because going back for Christopher Eccleston, that was when it was like, that was the real reboot.
Right.
Because we went several years without the Doctor being a thing, and they did a great job. The fact that Russell T Davies and them are back as showrunners, they're really amping things up. And I have to say, I was worried about Disney's interference because they're giving the BBC money for Doctor Who, and it's actually only helped increase their production quality, which I thought they were going to be like putting their finger into everything and trying to like control how things go. And it doesn't seem like they've been doing that lately.
No, hopefully it'll, not fuck with a good thing.
Yeah, well, you figure they've got another franchise that they're airing that, let's face it, 60 plus years. If you screw up something that's had a 60 plus year run, you don't deserve it.
Nope.
But then if they do screw it up, it's like, oh, all these people over here are toxic, and this is why it ended. And
No. See, that's the standard trope that everybody wants to just blame. The thing is that when you go and you start blaming everybody else for the problem,
it's you.
yeah, you're the problem, because you just don't have to watch it. If you're not enjoying it, don't watch.
Change your channel.
Yeah,
You have
like,
4 billion other channels to watch.
how many streaming platforms are you paying for? So you might as well. Like, that's the thing. Like, I know you're not a huge Doctor Who fan, Mike, so you're not really going to be watching it. Jimmy, you're, I guess,
I'm in the middle. I wouldn't mind and everything. I haven't caught it up to it yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still impressed when you said about Jodie Whittaker, because they touched the subject in her first season of Rosa Parks.
Yep.
And that was like very
Oh, yeah.
amazing, impactful.
Which the thing is, everybody forgets that Doctor Who was started off as a children's show that was supposed to be educational.
Really?
It had a sci-fi element, but it was supposed to be educational, where they're traveling through time and space. So it's like, okay, you can see how things go on another planet, but there was always like that element of like a historical thing. And the Doctor always seems to roll back sometime on Earth. And he's taken on like different wars. He's been all over the place. The Picasso one, like Van Gogh. The Van Gogh episode during Matt Smith's time is still up there with some of people's most favorite episode, because Van Gogh getting to be brought to the present and hear how people love his art where he was completely unappreciated in his own time. It's something that it's like, wow, you're getting a different perspective, but there are certain historical elements, and it's going to be fantasy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it really started off as an educational kids show.
Wow.
And it just branched out to something that everybody could watch. And with having 15 different doctors,
Yeah. And at least the last, excluding her and him, Eccleston, Smith, Tennant, and
Peter Capaldi.
Yeah.
have all launched to other projects after this. You never hear that about Tom Baker and all these others.
Well, the thing is, too, though, you figure Jodie Whittaker's already been working on a bunch of other things anyway. And Ncuti Gatwin, I mean, he's got other projects that he's worked on, and he was in the Barbie movie.
Yeah.
He was one of the Kens. So Shooty Gatwin's career is going to just keep going and going. And I mean, right now, like the cast that they have is doing like such an amazing job that I have to give them a lot of credit, because being able to do what they're doing at the level they've been doing it is absolutely amazing. I was not expecting, because usually their seasons are like 8 episodes.
Yeah.
And they're already like 4 episodes in, and I'm looking forward to every Friday night. It's like, of course, I got to pick and choose. Am I going to watch it before or after SmackDown?
Yeah.
Usually it's going to be after. But it's like, it's something that you're watching, and I'm looking forward to it. I like when these streaming platforms are giving me something that I can look forward to on any specific given night.
Yeah.
That's why, you know what? I'm starting to hate the full binge model. I actually thought, and I mentioned this, and Danielle and I had talked about it, where it was like, it was a good idea that they broke the season in half of Bridgerton. So it's like you can have a chance, 4
Catch
episodes.
your breath and watch something else.
Well, no, but you can talk about it with other people. You can catch up with the other fans and have a discussion like the way it used to be with the water cooler treatment of, you know, think about back when Lost was a huge phenomenon. Every week, you know, everybody was glued to their television watching the latest episode. We don't have that now, which is why, like, I was in shock that Fallout, every episode dropped on day 1, where I honestly thought that one was going to be like The Boys, where 1 per week.
Yeah.
And maybe the first 2 come out at the beginning, but then it's like every one after is one right after the other, week to week.
I don't like that.
Yeah, and
No, I agree with you.
yeah, listen, we kind of need to go back to that model, because it also gives everybody a chance to catch up on shit. Let's face it, there's so much stuff to watch now. But I mean, let's face it, the streaming platforms are talking about merging and giving us one hub where we can watch everything. That's called cable.
Yeah.
So we're just going to go backwards. People didn't learn jack and shit. Well, we're going to wrap everything up now, because we've been talking for a while.
Yeah.
And Mike, you want to tell everybody how they can reach out to you and how they can get in contact with us?
Okay, if you want to hit up the podcast, you can follow us on the Dragoon Slayer podcast on Instagram. You can also follow the Dragoon Slayer podcast on Facebook, following the Dragoon Slayer podcast. Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
If you want to see what I'm up to, you can follow me on Hamster Pellet Productions on Instagram and Facebook, and you can follow my personal page, Michael Schiavo, on Facebook. And if you don't like that, fuck you!
Mike, don't you also have something to announce too that you're doing? Your project?
I just got done editing last night 2 trailers we made based on the video game Punch-Out.
Besides that, about the
Well, nothing is set in stone yet. I auditioned for a role in the Pink Panther Returns, which will be taking place in August at the Little Victory Theater. The cast list has not been released yet.
so very nice.
So we'll find out about that.
Hopefully next week.
And then
He
we'll
will
have
a bimp on his head.
Yes, and then what will also happen is
Biyump.
Mike won't be able to be here for certain episodes, so we'll have to find a filler.
Villain.
Or
Pauline.
but we've got a rotating cast of characters.
You have a plethora.
Yes. There's that, or
And your brother.
yeah, that I could always bring him back. Yep. Which now, hopefully, we'll be able to have him speak into the microphone. He wasn't prepared the last time, and
I know, you told me
it's
that.
partially my fault. Jimmy, how can everybody reach out to you?
Reach out to me at Instagram and Threads, James H_the fourth, Snapchat, James SI0925, Facebook, James Haynes the fourth, TikTok, James 0925. Reminder for the favorite chef competition, look on my links for on Instagram and in Facebook. Click one of the pictures to vote. Please vote. Thank you.
All right. And if anybody's interested in finding me, which I highly doubt, but just in case, you can find me at Blue Dragoon 13 on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Mike, you want to do this for me then?
No, you got it.
Yeah, okay. So you can find me on Twitch, which you can find the link to the Discord page. And from there, you can join the community there. It's an open invitation for everyone to join. I just leave the one on the Twitch page open for everybody. You can make sure you can listen to the show on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Podcasts. On any other podcasting platform that you're looking for. You can find the video versions every other week on our YouTube channel, or, well, my YouTube channel, Blue Dragoon 13 on YouTube. So make sure you like, share, subscribe. Leave us reviews on all the platforms. It really does help for people to find us and be able to discover the show. And make sure you share it with your friends. Let everybody know.
And if they want to get in touch with us, how do they do that?
Oh, well, that's the easiest thing of all. They can email us at dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. That's all one word, Dragoon's Lair Podcast. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. Threw you a little curveball right there.
A little curveball.
Yeah, all right.
I still managed to foul it off. So
Yeah, you just barely
hey, foul ball to foul ball. Still make contact.
Just barely. And with that being said, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of you out there for listening, liking, sharing, subscribing. Make sure you do all those things. Hit the little clicks, the likes, the thumbs up. We appreciate it. It really helps us out. And if you'd like, feel free, Blue Dragoon 13 on Cash App. I could definitely use the help. You help finance the show. We'll if you do,
Money.
we will definitely give you a shout out.
Money.
Money makes the world go round.
My bank doesn't like me.
No, it does not.
That was the great commercial.
And with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. And you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Now get out.
Come back tomorrow. Come back tomorrow and we'll try again.